My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey gang, welcome back. Today our special guest is Henry Yoshida, zooming in from Austin, Texas. And Henry owns a very interesting business called retired.com. And we're going to find out all about that and how he helps people, especially kind of accidental landlords, really leverage their retirement accounts and take it to the next level. So Henry, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for making time.
My pleasure. So Henry, looking at retired.com, looks pretty, first of all, awesome name. Like that's a perfect website name.
It's a tough email to use though. So when people ask for my work email and I give them that, they think I'm just playing around. Yeah, they think I'm playing around with them.
You're back fishing or something like that. Okay, very cool. So tell us, just in a snapshot, what does retired.com do? What's the underlying business behind that?
Sure. Our product at retired.com, so we sell retirement accounts. So we do IRAs and solo 401ks, but primarily IRAs. And we have all the same features of a normal IRA as everyone knows in the United States, but instead of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, our customers are able to purchase private and alternative investments, for example, real estate, like you just mentioned. And that's the distinction between our accounts at retired.com.
Right. So they're self-directed. Self-directed, correct? That's basically what we're doing. So because it's a Property Profits Real Estate podcast.
Sure.
How does this work when it comes to buying properties and arm's length stuff and all that kind of stuff? How does that work with?
Yeah. Well, let me, one of the things that we do at Retired that's a little different. I've been in the financial services space for my entire career, so 26 years, and this is my second company in the financial technology space, so a platform. And one of the things was that it was really important for me to make it easy. So IRAs, using those funds to purchase real estate wasn't easy with our competitors. It wasn't the same as just kind of stroking a check or wiring money to a title company and closing on the deal. So the way our customers do it is that we actually nest a bank account inside of the IRA. So that customer is actually able to operate and purchase properties for the purposes of investment holdings, very similarly to how they might be purchasing properties right now without using IRA money. So that's one of the key distinctions, is that when you ask about the process of how to do it, it's really pretty similar to how you'd purchase a property not inside of your IRA, which is that you get the information and the wiring instructions from the title company when you're ready to purchase that property. You're using funds from your IRA, so the distinction would be you name it. The name of the on title will be the IRA, but the bank account that you would send the wire from, you control, is inside of your IRA. So the funds there already have the treatment from a tax standpoint of IRA monies, and you're just sending it. So to the recipient, the seller of that particular property in this case, they don't know any different. To them, cash is cash, essentially. Okay, so maybe based on some of the clients that you've worked with at retired.com, let's focus on an example. Like, can you paint me a picture of a client who's done something like that, something similar to that, and kind of walk us through how the whole process works? Yeah. So the individual has a Rocket Dollar account or establishes a new Rocket Dollar account, says that, hey, I got to fund the account, so I'm going to transfer monies. And as long as you have another outside IRA or a old 401k for a past employer, you could roll those funds in. So let's just use an example, $250,000, for example, and you're going to purchase a $200,000 property. You're going to leave some in reserves, just like you would purchasing any property.
Going in, you're not getting a mortgage, you're buying all cash.
You buy all cash because one of the things you had alluded to, Dave, you wanted me to talk about some of the things you can't do. Well, you can't use leverage when you're using tax advantage dollars, but the idea is that you would be purchasing it with 100% cash equity in that property. So you transfer the monies in, it's available there. And when it comes time to close on that property, this hypothetical customer has already identified the property, already negotiated, signed the contract to purchase the property in the name of the IRA. And when you go to that closing table or prior to that, you would be setting up the wire transfer. And so our technology, that bank account that's nested inside, we open that bank account for you. In addition to the IRA, people open the bank account. So it's all integrated and you access that from within our portal, our company. So you open the banking portal, you would just set up the wire transfer to go to the title company. You show up at the title company that next day, your funds are there, seller is there ready to transfer title to the property. So again, very, very similar. I'm probably not giving the most exciting description because it's old hat.
Well, I guess
used to that.
I guess compare and contrast doing that through your platform versus what they might have to do if they used a more traditional platform with their 401k.
A more traditional platform is typically their setup is going to be that, okay, you want to purchase the property. It's the IRA that's purchasing the property. Our company is the custodian of your IRA and your funds. So you need to instruct us when and where to send those funds. And as we all know in real estate transactions, timing is very, very key. Like when the title company says, hey, wire the funds and make sure it's in this recipient bank account at least 24 hours prior to your close. Well, when you're relying on an outside party that is in the business of doing this for potentially their thousands of other customers, you don't know where you might be in that queue. So you may not know exactly when your funds from a wire standpoint from that custodian were dispersed because the actual end customer, in this case, the IRA account holder with us or you or me, if this was our account, we control it, right? In normal cases, but this one, we put it into a queue on an online system. So it's very, very clunky is what I found. And that's what I learned actually when we started the company back in 2018. And then I purchased investment real estate outside of an IRA. I've done one with my IRA. So I kind of know both sides of the equation. And, really it's just that take the perspective of the customer, of which I was in certain situations, and thinking like, what would they want? And then designing that platform and the IRA system and protocols around that. So that's the difference, what you're explaining, which is that you typically have to get approval. You'll put in the request for your custodian or trust company with a traditional self-directed IRA provider, not ours. And then you go into a queue and you'll maybe get a notification when they release the funds. But I've kind of found that even then, they're not as tech savvy as your big brokerage houses, right? Where they kind of send you your wire transfer has been sent email that you get from the bank, for example.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
So it'd be much clunkier and take a lot longer, basically,
because you don't control a lot of it. Because the idea is that they function in the role of being the custodian of
the way you guys have got it set up. The big streamline thing here is it's a bank account in there. I fund it. I buy the property. I do the wire transfer. I control everything. I don't have to get you guys to do anything and wait on any.
Well, that's our tagline at Retired, Dave, which is that, let us handle the retirement account part. The rest is you being an investor, like you handle the rest of it. Because people already know this process. People have made private investments. People who've made private investments into private equity funds as an LP, they know how to do it. They know how to fill out a subscription doc. People who buy investment real estate know how to analyze a deal, make an offer on a deal, close on that deal, and sort of establish and gather funds for that particular deal. So we want to keep as much of the process that people are used to in making private investments, whether that's real estate or private fund, the same. And we handle the IRA and the retirement account portion. You basically do what you're best at, which is identifying and finding those investments.
I'm wondering off the top of my head here, Henry, this could be very beneficial for somebody who's in the flipping business. I'm thinking, at least superficially, it seems like it, right? Like if they want to, depending on where they're at, flipping can be very tax intensive because it's very active income. So if you could do a flip or 2 or 3 within your 401k plan, that could be very beneficial. Am I missing anything there?
The key you mentioned is actually that last part where you said 2 or 3. If you're just doing maybe 2 or 3, then it's probably okay. If you're someone who's doing, let's say 10, 15, 50, 100 flips, and I've met people who've done that, then you're really an active business person inside that space, at which point you really shouldn't use your 401k funds. But that actually leads to an interesting caveat, Dave, that the fastest growing segment of our customer base right now is actually functioning in the role of being the lender to a flipper. So our more experienced investment folks, they accumulate cash because, remember, they might have a couple properties that they've invested in. They may have done one to buy and hold and rent out long-term, let's say, using their self-directed IRA with us. But remember, our typical customer may be rolling over or be funding the account from a 25-year savings account at a corporate employer. This account could have well over $1 million in it with no taxes. So they purchased the one property for $200,000. Let's say we use the same hypothetical example, but they know they have $800,000 more, and now they know how to analyze the deals. So they actually put themselves out in their local real estate investor networking groups as that they want to function as the private lender, because now they can lend money out at 13 to 15% short term, collateralized by the property, to people that they already know on 9-month, let's say, terms to do a fix and flip. And when the income comes back in or the payments are made, those are not taxable because they're inside of a tax-deferred account. So that 13, if you're in the 30% tax bracket, is really 13.13 divided by 1 minus 0.7 if you're in the 30% marginal tax bracket. So that 13 is really actually 16.85.
Yeah. No,
so people like that. So if you're too active in doing the flips and funding them using your retirement accounts, then it could be too
I wasn't
active
suggesting that. I was suggesting for the guys that are doing the massive number of flips, do a few, if they can, legally, do a few from within your retirement account, tax-free,
sure,
majority outside, but do a few in there.
Exactly. And for the people that are doing a massive number of them, if all of a sudden they found that they have a very readily available source of capital, then a lot of those people actually want to flip to becoming the bank. So, we're talking about this. I know where you're based. I'm based in Texas. So, in Texas, the real flex, if you're a wealthy person, is that you buy a ranch first. But if you're really wealthy, you buy a bank charter. So, wealthy is when someone tells you they got a ranch out in the hill country outside the city. That's considered wealthy in Texas. Elite is when you tell someone that you have a ranch and a bank.
Or bank and a ranch, yeah. Awesome, Henry. Well, I think that was a great explanation of what you guys do. If our listeners, our viewers want to tune in and find out more, where should they go? Where can they find out more about you?
So they can come see us at retired.com. So we do have a premium domain, so retired.com. And one of the reasons why we have our company under that moniker is because that's how we really feel that we feel like, hey, 25 years into this current century, you can't play by the old playbook anymore, right? That's why we're all on like Property Profits Real Estate podcast, right? We're not listening to buy an index fund and sit around for 40 years podcast. So find us at retired.com, and we feel like our mission is to help Americans retire. So use the same playbook, the same account types that have existed since 1974, but potentially go into investments that you have better control, better ability to potentially grow and find on your own. Not something that's just manufactured on Wall Street and fed to you on Main Street.
Absolutely. Good advice, Henry. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dave.
All right, everybody. See you on the next one.
Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.